everyone. This video will be to explain how memory is an active process focusing on the concept of schematization. This idea helps us understand how our brains don't just record experiences, they actively reconstruct them using prior knowledge and expectations. Let's look at this picture. The old dreamlike quality of this photo fits perfectly within the theme of how memory is reconstructed rather than perfectly preserved. This image represents how our memories often feel, blurred, partial, and influenced by emotion. The scene looks familiar, yet slightly distorted, much like we recall events through our own mental filters. We may see a full face or broader scene featuring a girl in bridges. And this photo demonstrates how the mind actively interprets information based on perception and prior knowledge. This perfectly illustrates how our minds actively interpret what we see and remember. At first glance, we might see a woman's profile, but with another look, we notice a full face looking forward. This shows that our brains don't just record sensory information, they build perception by fitting details into existing mental frameworks called schemas. What is schema? A schema is a mental framework like a map that helps us organize and interpret information. Schemas are built from our past experiences, and they guide how we take in new information. When we remember something, we don't just play back a perfect recording. Instead, our brain reconstructs the memory using schemas. That means memory is active. Our minds fill in missing details, interpret meaning, and even reshape what we recall to fit what we already believe or expect. For example, if you once attended several birthday parties, your brain might mix details from different ones, the cake from one, the decorations from another. That's schematization at work. Memory is an active process. Understanding schematization in human memory. Here's a complicated diagram of the neurobiology of schemas. Memory isn't like pressing play on a video. It's a reconstruction process. Different parts of the brain, such as the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, work together to rebuild our memories. Each time we recall something, we fill in gaps using our schemas. So what we remember often reflects interpretation more than reality. That's why two people can recall the same event differently. Psychologists like Frederick Bartlett demonstrated this in The War of the Ghosts, which was in our book study, in which people's memories of a short story or a story changed to match their cultural schemas. I thought about the fundamental attribution theory here, or the error, happens when we overemphasize internal traits and ignore external factors. It shows how our brains prefer simple schema-based explanations. Altogether, these ideas reveal that both memory and judgment are active, constructive processes. Our minds constantly use schemas to interpret, recall, and explain the world around us. And look at this picture. What did you perceive it to be at first glance? It's actually a log, not a alligator in a pond. So memory isn't like pressing play, it's more like editing a story. Every time we recall something, we rebuild it, guided by our schemas. And this also reminds me that salience and stigma can play a role in how we process information. Thank you.